We're good. Hello, everybody. Hello, our beautiful Starseed family. Oh, we've got the whole nightmare. Yay, Yoda. May the force be with you and all and all and all. Welcome this week to our delightful friend and Starseed, Bria. Oh, Brie. Oh, am I meant to say your name?
It's Brie.
I've just blown her cover.
Oh,
Known as Brie, not her real name. Known as Brie for the time being.
Yes,
and our lovely Brie is going to join us this week for insights and sharings on our week. And we're going to start with, I'm going to read, if I may, in a moment, a lovely piece that was, I shared onto the Facebook group, IGC of 3 Facebook page, but not everybody that watches us on YouTube is on Facebook. So I wanted to share this lovely channeled message from the Keeper of the Diamond Light Codes. And just before that, to set the scene as to why I found this so incredibly helpful, was I have been the epitome of Laurie's astrological post on Facebook, which is all about the moon and swinging from over-sentimentality to nostalgia to being a bloody mess, bawling my eyes out one minute, euphoric the next. And for me, the theme was all about home. What is home? And I was driving to meet a friend for Christmas lunch, and I was sobbing my heart out when I thought of my earthly home and the address that I'd gone back to the same house. I was born in the house. My father delivered me in my mother and father's bed.
Wow.
And they lived there for the 42 years of my life. And I've only ever had one earthly home. And I had this sudden wave of nostalgia and sadness and missing and longing. And at the same time, I was bawling my eyes out and trying not to crash as I was driving along. My little digit went up and I was doing the E.T. thing. E.T. phone home. And I thought, bloody hell, I've got 2 homes that I'm missing now. That's just bloody great, isn't it? Now I'm in a double mess. So the whole home thing was really, and I'm a Cancerian, so there you are. I'm going to be double mooned either way. So I was going to get a double whammy. And then this thing was posted, and oh my goodness me, it saved me. So if I may share with you, and I'll read it quite quickly because people can just listen back to it.
Please, it's so good.
And it's so lovely. The mythic call. Once upon a time, a galactic council was called, and a mythic call was sent out to countless light beings. The children of the sun, the angelic winged ones, the sun runners, the rainbow warriors, and other luminous ones from many star systems. The great circle, hang on a minute, hold the thought, I'm just putting my timer on. This great circle of light beings gathered from far and wide. At the appointed nexus, the love of the spinning galaxies, the Great Spirit, entered, gracing them all with celestial light on the following words. You are invited to incarnate upon a world where a great transformation will take place, began the love of the spinning galaxies. You who respond to this call will go to a place of planetary evolution, where the illusions of fear and separation are strong teachers. I am calling those with the needed talents and gifts to act as my emissaries there, to lift and transform the frequencies of planet Earth, simply by embodying and anchoring love's presence there. In this myth, you will be the creators of a new reality, the reality of the golden octave. The love of the spinning galaxies continued. On other journeys, each of you has proven to be a feeling navigator, able to awaken your consciousness and align your heart to the promptings of pure love and compassionate service. As sun runners and torch bearers, you have already demonstrated that you will hold the light high. And so I invite you to incarnate en masse among the tribes of Earth to assist Gaia and all her children in their transformation. It is part of the plan that you will be veiled in forgetting, the mystery of the spinning galaxies went on. However, as you remember the feeling of childlike innocence and trust, you will become the harmonic leavening in this cycle of initiation for Earth. You will incarnate strategically, often in some of the most vibrationally dense areas on the planet. To some, this illusion of separation from love may create feelings of hopelessness, lack of support, and alienation. But by embracing your humanness, your love will transform the depths of duality and your light will quicken the many. Your participation on this quest is purely voluntary. However, this transformational shift on Earth is very rare and precious. Should you choose to accept this mission, you will have the opportunity to catalyze and synthesize all that you have been during many incarnations, receiving a rarely offered quantum leap in consciousness. It is up to you to choose how you will dance with Terra Gaia and her children as she completes her ceremony of light. So spoke the Creator, the light of the spinning galaxies. And so it was that the luminous beings who formed the countless alliances, federations, and councils of the faithful of the stars chose to incarnate on planet Earth to assist in this crucial event, the awakening of the planetary dream. There was even a fail-safe process built into the plan to awaken these beings from the illusion of separation and the veil of forgetfulness that is so rife upon Earth. The luminous ones who would journey to Gaia's assistance agreed to spark each other's remembrance. Thus, these star-seeded ones were encoded in many ways with sounds, colors, lights, images, words, and symbols, a vibrational resonance that would assist them in remembering their commitment to the light. It was agreed that these coded clues would appear everywhere, in visionary art and music, in penetrating looks, in speech and in feelings, all creating a deep yearning to awaken and become the embodiment of love. So it is that you, the children of the sun, are now being bathed in the waters of remembrance, prepared as rainbow warriors to fulfill the promise of the new and ancient myth. By simply anchoring love's presence on earth, you lovingly draw down the mantle of the gods, sending waves of healing and love throughout Gaia's eagerly receptive body. As you emerge in this time, your gifts awaken and empower others. Utilizing the tools of laughter, song, dance, humor, joy, trust, and love, you are creating the powerful surge of transformation that will transmute the limitations of the old myth of duality and separation, birthing the miracle of unity and peace on earth. Utilize your gifts on behalf of Gaia. In a supernova of consciousness, Gaia and her children will ascend in robes of light, forming a luminous light body of love to be reborn among the stars. The mythic call has been sounded. The great quest has begun. Awaken, rainbow warriors, sun runners, luminous beings from the galactic alliances, federations, and councils. Ancient skywalkers, newly formed in this moment, stand in the beauty and power of your true identity as love's gift to Gaia. Set aside self-doubt. You are the divine child of the sun. Go where your heart draws you to share your great gifts. Surrender to the magic and the light. The miracle will be manifested on earth. Remember, we dance and sing here for the one heart. So that was my resolution, comfort, gift, everything that was making me feel a bit sort of emotionally desperately unstable and swinging from one end of the spectrum to the other. That just came in perfect timing and is so apt because Bree, being our guest here today, may wish to speak about her gifts, her particular gift, but we'll come to that later, Bree, if you so wish. So that's the passing on the message. And Laurie, you said you had a sort of a week of synchronicities.
Oh, I so did. And on with what you were talking about, how, you know, some of us are put into really dense areas.
Yeah.
And so I moved back to Michigan, where I'm at right now, and it's very dense. And that's always been my complaint, which really kind of put me down into a self-doubt, kind of an ego kind of mindset. It's really hard to stay in the heart because there was just not a lot of people around to keep me up, which I'm glad I've met you girls, because it really, this community has helped me a lot. But I'm a hairstylist, and one of my clients came in and told me about this really sweet place called Soul Oasis Spa, and I hadn't even heard of it. And it's this little tiny speck of light in this whole area. And I went over and signed up for this drumming class they had. And wow, was it phenomenal. Like, I've never been to drumming that was that intense. They had drums that were 5 feet tall. I mean, they were huge.
Whoa.
And if you ever want to check it out and see what I'm talking about, it's the actual place. It's Strong Heart drum medicine. And you can see the picture of the drum that they use that's set up.
Wow.
So anyways, I'm in there and signing up, and I'm talking to the lady, and then I'm also an artist. So she was like, oh, well, I want to get your art in here and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And so then she's like, and there was this salon next door, and she's like, you will love these girls. So, okay, so I go over and meet these girls and get talking. They're all heart open. They talk my language. They're hidden, in this tiny little spot. And so I found my community, and I went in and talked to her and like walked out with the job. So I went in, signed up for a drumming class, and walked out with 2 of my modalities in like one area. So I was like, so with all the density and all that, there is light. It's like you just really have to be patient, and it'll come to you in time. And I was like crying ecstatically, like, oh my God, thank you.
Thank you. But that is such good news, Laurie.
Right?
I'm delighted.
So it happens when you least expect it. And it happened to be 12/12 that day, which I thought was really cool, the gateway.
Wow.
And I didn't even think of it. I didn't even pay attention until I got home, and I was like, oh, it's 12/12 today.
No coincidence there.
Right?
So that to me is the perfect example of letting the universe come to you. Letting, not having to go out and hunt it down, trying to control things, trying to make things happen out of frustration or despair, but just staying in that place of faith and trust, and knowing with every inch and cell and fiber of our being that what is going to happen will come to you at the right time.
Exactly.
A 12.
I know.
My girl.
We had the conversation of like, I was like, I didn't even know you guys existed. And she's like, well, we got talking, and she's like, well, I was channeled to come here because this place needs to be here in this area. And I was like, that's why I came back here. I felt like there was a need for it. I just couldn't find it. So I found it.
Yeah, I'm delighted. That is such good news. Brilliant.
That's
so,
amazing.
Bree, what sort of week have you had, my darling?
Oh, well, I've been going through, let's just say, I feel like my Scorpio season has been lasting a little longer than I needed to let it. I could leave it there, but I've been going through it. I've been going through it, and it's been very transformative. I feel like it
hasn't been easy, but it's definitely transformative.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. My wings are starting to come out now.
Yes.
So getting back into, I think we're always in a like expansion and then contraction, right?
Yes.
So I think I contracted a little bit extra just because of some huge leaps of faith that I took recently, and, stepping into my own path. And really taking my missions here seriously. So it's been moving through massive dimensions of fear and doubt and uncertainty and confusion and resistance. But I'm in a really good place now. I know that I could do it. I knew that I could do it, but I had to get that energy out. I had to release it instead of keeping it all in my being. And so much has been shown to me in this process of like, I've had like these specific memories, of childhood come up in my memories. And I'm like, wow, I haven't thought about that in 20 years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense as to why I'm being led down the path I am, because I've struggled through certain things that I know I'm here to help people with.
Fabulous. So do you think that those layers are now truly and utterly dispensed with, if you like, come up, resolved, dissipated into the universe? Sort of, do you feel like there is only a forward momentum now, or are you expecting maybe some other stuff to come up by degrees? What's your sense?
I definitely don't think I'm done.
No.
It's not only is this a metaphor for the human experience here on Earth during the ascension time, but it's also like specifically taking huge risks that go against, when your higher self is like, you need to go over here and do this, and your human's like, no, goodbye. And you go the other way, and then eventually you get rerouted again. It's like, okay, well, if you want to go that way, that's fine, but you're going to come back over here regardless. You're going to be put into circumstances to lead you in that direction. And I have to say,
the GPS.
Yeah. The GPS, the internal,
right.
God source GPS. Thank you.
Yeah.
Turn left now. Turn left now.
Stop nagging me. Stop nagging me.
Rerouting.
Rerouting.
Always rerouting.
U-turn, you stupid woman. Do a U-turn.
Do a U-turn. Please do a U-turn. No. That way. That's how I felt, is like, if you do not start to go down your path, if you do not really accept your purpose here, because it's shown to you continuously, not only in childhood but throughout your life, you're always being taken back to, why are you here? What can you give? What can you support? How can you be of service? And we know in our heart, even if it's just holding space for people, even if it's just listening to people, that's huge. You know how many human beings don't know how to listen, you know? So it's very important for us to all use our skill sets. And I tell you, I was avoiding my path now for a little while, and the level of depression that I purposely put myself into because of the resistance and because of the avoiding and because of the procrastination and because of the fear and the doubt and the all of that stuff is unbelievable what we do to ourselves sometimes.
Right.
And I'm very thankful for even the awareness of that. I really am, but I can't say it's been easy. And my heart goes out to everybody out there who is making these decisions and really moving towards creating their reality the way that they really know that it can be in their heart. If you have a dream, it can come true. You can make that true. There is a parallel reality in a different timeline that you can literally quantum leap into, and that all depends on how you're thinking, what you believe about yourself. If you believe that you can't do it, you can't, right? So
exactly, it's all about belief. And you just gave me goosebumps. That was awesome, because it's so true. And we're all in this together.
And we're all arch manifestors. So I was having a conversation with a dear friend today, and when we were talking about, when we say, I can't do that, I'll never do that, guess what? We won't disappoint ourselves. We will absolutely manifest the not doing, the can't doing, that we'll never get to it. And if so we can honor that aspect of ourselves, ironically, that we can create the not being able to be fulfilled. Because I don't believe we can. And at the same time, absolutely, Bree, we can step into that. We can create and then step into that place of I can. I just maybe don't know it yet.
Like that, doesn't it? It is. It's like,
I
mean, and the next thing you're there and you're like, this is awesome.
See, this is what I want to say about the time that we're living in right now. We're so used to the past because that's what our brain has experienced and that's what it remembers. Thank you, brain. I appreciate you.
Right. We can't. It's like,
it's a very lovely third dimensional, fourth dimensional, construct of beauty, and like we have so much that we can do. We could process so much information that we don't even we've been functioning at our base level of consciousness for so long, and we're stepping out of that. So we can't look at the past. And trust me, I've been doing this too. I've been looking at, I've never blah blah blah, so I can't blah blah blah, and then I catch myself and I'm like, the heck kind of a thought is that? Like, hold up. First of all, I don't have to believe every thought that comes into my mind, because it's an energy. It's literally like if you're swimming in a pool and somebody pees in the pool and you're like, oh, it's wet here. Okay, I mean, it's warm. I'm going to go over here. Well, that's just like a bad thought. You don't have to take the urine and be like, this is mine. I'm going to swim in this forever. Just go over somewhere else,
But I envision, like, when you're in the pee spot, it's like, that's the dread and the misery and the I can't do it and the like, this sucks, and it smells like pee, but I can't get out of it.
Woe is me, and we come up with all these reasons
Yes,
why
that's
we
it,
can't,
too.
and we justify why we cannot move out of the urine.
Right.
And we have to, first of all, appreciate ourselves for being masters of limitation, right? Like,
Yes.
wow, we are amazing. Look at how much we have created to put ourselves in such tiny little boxes, right? And you can't even touch the wall without,
freaking out.
Yeah, exactly. So just on that note, as far as the current era, I really want people to know that we're in a completely different energy now. Everything's different. So the manifestation is very quick. If you are in the mindset, and I've been hearing so many people say this recently, and it's just blowing my mind. I know these things. And again, when I was in that fear and stuff, I wasn't letting myself be at that level of consciousness. It was like I was aware of it, but I was sitting in my own pity party because I had to get that energy out, and that's okay. That's okay. But if you're sitting there and you're thinking, I can't do this, then respectfully, you can say, maybe I can. What if I could? What if I could? What would I do if I could? Right. Yeah. So just slowly try to change it around. And I tell you, we're in the energy now where things happen fast. So as soon as you really decide to change your mindset and you commit to it. And when those negative thoughts come up and stuff, you say, I hear you, I love you, but nah,
it's not for me.
I'm going on a different direction now.
Yeah. I'm always like, take the back seat. I got control now.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a buffet of food, you don't have to eat everything in the buffet.
I do.
I know.
No, I do. I do have to eat it all, actually. Yeah.
If you want to eat it all, that's different. But there might be stuff in there that is like, ugh, I don't want, and so it's just, we're very lucky right now. And I hope that we maybe keep that in mind a little bit more. I know I have to.
I think that's a great reminder.
Yeah. And language, I keep banging on about it, and I know, Laurie, you and I talk about it, and we did it with Lani as well. Language is such an important part in this in terms of forging and creating a reality. Yeah. So we may not know what it is that we're meant to be doing, and we may crave some sort of label or something very structured and sort of with a tight framework around it. But rather than saying, I don't know it, we could just maybe say, I don't know it yet. Mm-hmm. I just don't know it yet. Because the yet opens up this great chasm of opportunity for us. And it's just a perfect word. And then instead of following with a but, which negates everything that's gone before in the sentence, let's just put in an and. I don't know it yet, and I am so excited for the moment when the universe shows it to me.
Yes, right.
Rather than I don't know it, but I'll never know it, and I'm, but it'll never bloody work. No.
That's a box.
I don't know it yet.
Walls.
Yeah, it's walls.
But if you say yet, there's a door.
There's a door.
Then you're opening
it.
I know. And then the yet followed by the and flings open the door.
Right.
And you're stepping over the threshold into big light and excitement, awe and wonder all over again. And then you can just literally canter off into the glorious future that you are creating every minute of this moment.
When you do that, it's just all the alignments all happen. It's just, like bam, bam, bam. You're like, oh, look at that.
I know. It is instant, isn't it? It takes your breath away. It is instant and I think, Bree, you're spot on. It's the commitment. It's not the dilly dancing around. It's not sort of tiptoeing around saying, I don't, maybe I will a little bit. And then, no, go back into that sort of recoil habit.
Yeah, because it's
the time is nigh. It's just throw yourself in. What is there to lose?
Yeah.
The world's in utter meltdown. It can't get much worse, believe you me. We're doing it all in the human way.
Well, and this is a big lucid dream.
Throw into it. Sorry, Bree?
Dreams, you guys. I put on a VR. Have you done the VR system?
Yeah.
Have you done one of those?
Yeah.
I was like, it was like scary virtual reality, but it was like a lucid dream. Like it was like you felt like you were in a lucid dream.
Yeah. Wow. That's actually one thing that has always, I grew up as a gamer, I played a lot of video games when I was a kid, and the more that I started to learn about quantum physics and manifestation and how, you know, parallel realities and alternate universes and all the dimensions and everything, and the fact that, you know, everything's energy, I started to understand more clearly this is a holographic universe. This is a virtual reality that we're creating from our soul. And we're all in our individual virtual reality. Now, this gets me into the Mandela effect. And let me tell you, I love me some Mandela effects. Okay?
I follow it a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Oh my God. Have either of you had, I'll start with Claire, have you had a reality shift happen that was like WTF? That made you really
doing mandalas or just generally?
No. Do you know what the Mandela effect is?
No, not the Mandela, no.
Oh, not Mandela. Nelson Mandela was.
Okay, I know of him.
Do you remember him dying in prison or when he got out of prison?
Oh, okay. I remember him dying out of prison.
Okay, interesting. What about you, Laura? Do you remember?
I remember him dying in prison.
Okay.
So I was
there
one
we
of them.
go.
Right?
Wow, I love this. We have both of you. I don't remember anything because I was too young or something. I wasn't paying attention. But okay, so we have two separate memories, right? And both of you, I'm sure you could say, I watched it on TV. I heard this news reporter. You can list off all these reasons. I remember, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's valid. That's amazing. That's your reality. That's right. The timeline that you are currently tuning into and remembering. Yeah. But they're both true. Yeah. Both timelines are true. And what's happening on Earth is in the Mandela effect, the timelines are starting to merge. And we are starting to experience, like on a collective level, we're agreeing, okay, so let's pick this timeline instead, even though collectively it used to be this, like Star Wars. Come on, you got your Yoda there and everything. Do you know about the quote in Star Wars that it changed?
I've heard of this, but
do you remember he says, Luke, I am your father?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's a famous quote.
Yeah.
Well, that's no longer the quote. If you go and watch Star Wars, he does not say that anymore.
What does he say?
Now it's, no, I am your father or something. He doesn't say Luke. And this is quoted across the entire world. People know, Luke, I am your father. Oh, that's a Star Wars quote. Well, now there's a different timeline we stepped into. The same with Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the blah, blah, blah. No, now it's magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. And it has changed. You can go back, you could look at the tapes, you could watch them, you can, oh my God, I can go on about this forever. I get fired up.
Fabulous.
It is. It really is.
Because what it's showing us on a collective level for humanity, I truly believe it is helping to open our eyes and open our minds as to the fact that this is all malleable. Yes. Reality is malleable. There's all these timelines simultaneously happening. There is no future, past, you know, and we're all kind of tuning into what we're going to experience in the moment, and it's all about the present moment. So we can't fight about the past because you experienced one timeline, you experienced a different timeline. Are you going to argue about it? They're both true.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
They're both valid. They both happened. But now on a collective level, I can't even remember what it changed to now. If he got out of prison and then died or something, I'd have to look it up. But it's, I mean, look at what a gift that we've been given to experience something this wacky. I tell you, it trips people out. And a lot of people have a hard time believing it, but I don't think I have I can't show you. There's so many things. I have physical objects. The logos have changed on the physical objects that I've had for 10, 20 years.
The Berenstain Bear, that's a really big one too.
Yeah.
There's actually people that have the old school one. They found it to show that it really was
it has changed.
The way we remember it, not the way it is now.
Exactly. Or like the Looney Tunes. Now it's well, some people remember tunes as in musical tunes. I remember TOONS.
That's what I remember.
Yeah. Do you remember that, Claire?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, now it's different. Now it's TUNES. Not that they actually play music in there except for the Bugs Bunny special with the orchestra. But you know, it's like it's just crazy that like it's so cool. I had a reality shift with my friend's keys where her keys flipped. By the time I parked my car and I went back to her house, the key that she told me to open the top door and bottom door they switched, and I was very aware of it, and I was like, oh, I just had a reality shift. Cool. You know, because you can, once you know about this stuff, it becomes fun because we're playing with this lucid dream.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So it becomes really fun when we get more playful. And that's what I like so much about your quote, Claire, because in the quote that you were reading, it said something about bringing back like that childlike wonder and fun and like that attitude of like discovering and playing, and that is exactly what has been changing my life, is bringing that back into my life instead of being so downtrodden by all the crap.
Yeah.
You know, adult human crap.
Yeah. I mean, but it will
Yes.
do, won't it? That ripple effect, because we're all connected, because of the holographic nature of the universe. If we change something in the now, it's like that, the Matrix, isn't it? It's sort of Doctor Who. You're not allowed to go back and change the past because it'll change the future. Well, hey, if we change the present, that's going to change both the past and the future because it's all on one continuum.
Exactly.
Right.
And in psychology and certain sort of, you know, CBT and stuff, you are invited to go back to your past traumatic events and rework them, because you've come through it with a fixation that it was a bad thing, that you had this done to you. You then, you know, grow up into this victim state, and not surprisingly, because some things happen are just hideous. But if you go back and you just take a different perspective, then you can be the objective observer of your own lifetime, and you can say, well, do you know what, I'm going to choose to interpret that completely differently.
Yes.
And the whole
it
thing
changes.
becomes different. It becomes different in your cellular makeup. It becomes different in your heart, in your head. You just
And then it
reality.
vibrates in your whole reality.
In your reality.
And
I had a friend.
the decisions that you make from this moment forward will not then be habituated responses, negative responses based on what happened to you in the past. It'll be taking, you know, this new reality into the future, and it'll all look completely different.
Exactly.
We are the architects of our ongoing incarnation, and it is a continuum. Brilliant.
In this moment. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
In this
I had
moment,
a-
exactly. Hence the instant manifestation. Yeah.
Right.
My
Brilliant.
friend had done that. He went back and he took some horrible things, and he had a new perspective, right? Because we're new in every moment, like you're saying. So right now, my perspective of what I was just talking about a minute ago is completely different, because that was a different time, you know, that's not right now. So our perspective's always new. We're always new in every moment. So he went back and he's like, okay, I see that this was horrendous, but I respect their part in what happened. I respect my part. I respect what happened because of it, because it put people on their path to go down and find this and that. And so he started to send gratitude and love for the situation, instead of, you know, condemning it and hating it and cursing it and, you know, regretting it. And the next time that he saw that person, his reality had literally shifted. They were a completely different person. They talked to him, and they were able to have a conversation. Now, this was like an ex-husband and an ex-wife. The children came over and they're like, I can't believe Mom and Dad are talking. Oh my God. And they were really happy because he had done the work. He had done the inner work. And that's what we're talking about here.
Exactly.
Is actually doing the inner work and going in and saying, you know what, I choose to have a different perspective on the stuff that I thought.
And a lot of it is forgiveness. It goes down, especially with relationships like that. I mean, that's huge. And not only forgiving them, but forgiving yourself in the same time. Yeah. And yeah, it can ripple. It builds bridges back without even knowing it's happening. Yeah.
Yes,
I love
for sure.
that.
Yeah. So this is all just marvelous. We could be here all night, and
I know, totally.
And yet we do have a slight time limitation. So Bree, in light of that lovely piece that I read from, and telling us all about the gifts that we all have in different ways, and definitely talking about speech and language, do you want to say anything about your particular gift, or would you rather not? Entirely your call.
Well, you know what I would like to do is I'll say a little bit, but I would love to join you ladies again sometime if I
can. Please. I would love it.
Another go at this. I think there's a lot that I would would like to say about light language. I started speaking it in 2016. It is the language of the soul. It is the language of the heart. And you're not using your physical mind to speak it. You're literally just letting the sounds come out of you, and you think you're speaking gibberish, and it actually is a real language. And there's many languages, and it has changed my life. It's the passion, the biggest passion I have here. So I could share a little light language blessing perhaps to close.
That would be lovely.
That'd be great.
I'd be very grateful for that. Love it. Thank you, darling. Yes, thank you.
Intia toro te shaka ando toro ho se henetia au kro ish indiat asara atos okor ono to shukat esiania at ish karautos o he ant at au ish iata o ar ish au hua handio anti or o haushinya hau hua hanya inya se shuk wesh at anyas au huehi ni sio hu hashe ar andia sandio o hashia.
Thank you, love. Thank you so much to all the star seeds, the star beings, and the galactic ones that bring that through to you. And it's a gift, and we're just so treasured to have that. And yes, Bree, come back again and again and again, my love. We'll do this more and more and more.
Definitely.
Yeah, we'll explore it more. I'd like that very much. And I know Laurie and we would both like that.
I know. Yep, I love it.
Thank you, darling. Well, I don't think there's any more that we want to add to that. Let's just leave on that